Every family has a choice, follow the herd or carve their own path. This is the Lone Wolfe Podcast. Are you ready to stray from the pack?
Welcome to the Lone Wolfe Podcast. Hello!
Well, welcome to Lone Wolfe Podcast, Sarah.
Hi, thanks.
You guys might notice, if you're people who watch our show, things look a little different. And by different, I mean our chairs are gone.
These are super comfy.
Yeah, they are. So this is what Jordan and I will be podcasting out of on the next episode, which is really crazy. We will be officially on the road in a tent, probably in some sort of a national park.
In a tent?
Yeah.
I want to hear what how it's going to look when you guys do your podcast on the road.
Because you're an aesthetics girly like
Yes.
me. Well, so we got like a big, what is it called? Hold on.
It's like a teepee.
Yeah, it's kind of like a teepee tent. And I feel like there's a term that starts with an R. Regatta?
Isn't a regatta?
Is that a noodle? Am I making that up?
Rigatoni.
Okay, yeah, it's one of those. A teepee, yes. It's like a teepee, like canvas style tent, but it's like all season proof, you know? And you can actually put like a little furnace in it, and it has like a little hole for like
That's so cute.
Yeah. But we'll have these chairs, and then we're gonna have a camp chair, and I got this like pretty like orangey brownish colored like blanket that'll go over it, and then our mics will like come off the table, and then we're gonna like try to do a better job at hiding all our like wires and stuff. And then these chairs.
And you'll break that down and set it up every time.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of thinking that we might, like, when we're in a good location, like we really need to have hookups. Like if we're boondocking, we can't really run all this.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I think we'll probably, when we're in a good location, we'll like batch a couple. Like we might film like 3 while we're there. Like each night we'll record, and then we could have 3 weeks off.
These are literally things that like you don't think of until you're planning to like live like on the road like that.
Oh, there's so many like little details.
I would have never thought of like you don't have anywhere to plug
them in.
It all in.
Yeah, there's a lot of like amenities living in a home.
Yeah.
I'm quickly realizing, but I kind of like the thrill, if I'm being honest.
I mean, it's to have like no fucks, like given, like we're just gonna try this and figure it out.
Zero fucks.
Learn on the way. That's incredibly liberating.
Yeah. I literally just shifted from like yard sale mode and like selling everything we own, and then hopped in the shower, put clothes on, and now I'm podcast mode. Like that's just what my life has been lately.
So you're so ready to get there.
I'm so ready. Okay, well let's talk shop. Let's give the people what they're looking for. Obviously I know who you are. And I have a funny feeling we have listeners who know exactly who you are. But for those who don't know, give us like, I don't want to give you like icebreaker questions, but
no, give me an icebreaker.
Okay. Give us like a little, I like to go all the way back. Let's say who you are, what you wanted to be when you were like a little girl. What did you want to be when you grew up? You know, what did that path kind of look like to get to where you are now? And what like credentialing, and what do you do now?
So there's definitely like a lot of ways that evolved over time. So my name's Sarah.
Yeah.
And when I was a little girl, I thought I would be a nurse. I thought I'd be a labor and delivery nurse.
Really? As a little girl? I don't think I knew that. Okay.
So my mom was going to nursing school and was 2 credits shy of finishing. And then I don't remember exactly what happened. And honestly, she would be a terrible nurse. Like I literally couldn't imagine her being a nurse.
What did she do instead?
She was a school director.
Okay.
She actually directed the school around the corner from your house for the last 17 years of her career.
Oh, cool. Funny.
You could like walk to it. Isn't that funny? So both my parents, my grandma, they were all in education. Education is like in my blood. My sister's a teacher. My other sister's a school counselor. Like education's part of our blood.
And well, like not to like jump ahead here, you do work in like the medical field, but a lot of what you do is education, and you're really good at it.
Isn't that ironic?
Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense.
So I think because I knew that she was going for nursing, I was like wanting to be like my mom, you know?
For sure.
And then I ended up getting into education. I originally went to school for photography, like right out of high school.
Okay.
I actually started taking college courses in high school and
Did
was
you
going
do like
for photography.
film photography?
Mm-hmm. I had a whole dark room in my house.
That's so
actually,
cool.
it was really cool.
I went to summer camp in high school and you could like pick your like specialty and I did film. My mom had her old film camera from when she was like a teenager.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we would like go in the like dark room and like print
develop
everything.
The film, develop the photos.
It was so fun.
I loved it.
I wasn't great at it, but like it was really fun.
Expensive hobby though.
Yeah, 100%.
If you like don't use it, it goes bad and it's expensive. Yeah, but I still do film actually.
Cool.
I do a lot of stuff with film. I just pay somebody to develop it.
Smart.
And pay them to print it.
Yeah, do it somewhere else. Yeah.
My high school photography teacher was very much like a fuck the system from the 70s, like kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. And so you guys got along well.
Gave me a photo enlarger,
cool,
which is like a negative enlarger to like print photo, like film photos.
Yeah.
For like nothing. Yeah, gave me all the equipment for like so cheap.
That's so cool. Wasn't your mom a lactation consultant?
So yes, so she was going for nursing and then stopped. I don't remember the reason why she stopped. And then her and her friend did lactation.
Together, like they had their own little
business, and so I grew up watching both of them. And it wasn't just lactation. Like I feel like lactation, like people think of as only breastfeeding, right?
Right. No,
but like there's so much more to. Like I remember growing up, like hearing about birth stories, and I feel like I heard about birth stories so much as a little kid. Like that was just part of, because to understand like what someone's experiencing with their breastfeeding journey, you have to know about
the story,
their birth too,
yep,
and pieces that go along with it. So there's so many pieces to the puzzle. I feel like for lactation.
Were you like, was she doing like in-home stuff, and you were like going along with her as a little girl and stuff? That's really cool.
So I remember and I was little, so like I remember stuff at Esther's house, I think too, a little bit. But I do remember going to people and like visiting people and stuff like that.
I love that because I think about it all the time. Obviously, like my girls can decide to be whatever they want to be when they grow up. Like in no way do I want them to follow in my footsteps or anything. I'm just not that type of parent. But when I had my lactation office, which I obviously have now cut ties since I can't do that out of my RV. But I would take my girls with me every single time. Literally since Zeppelin was 4 weeks old was the first visit that I did after I had her. And I thought all the time, like, how cool it is that it's normalizing all this to them and they're getting that experience. And I hope that, like, they'll be adults, you know, women someday feeling just the impact of that in some sort of way, you know?
I'm going to try and not get emotional, like, hearing you say it, because I feel that, like, and I say it to, like, families all the time. Even if that's not what, like, they choose for their career, just normalizing everything about your body and alternatives and health, I think, is the greatest gift that you can give them.
Yeah.
As your midwife, I did not know that you went back to lactation at 4 weeks postpartum.
Oh, whoops. Sorry.
I wish I would have known that.
That's my bad.
Those of you that don't understand why that's a funny, like, statement is that is way too soon to go back.
Yeah. Well, and this episode is coming out after our birth story. So y'all heard what happened in my postpartum, and it was
she should have been resting.
Yeah, it's probably not something I should have done. But me and this mom had the exact same due date. And then she had her baby and we were like texting and she needed help. And I was like, how do I not like go? You know what I mean? And so I just brought Zeppelin with me. And her husband was so great. He like held Zeppelin for me so I could help her. And we were kind of like switching off babies and trying to figure it out. Oh my gosh. And you know what was terrible? I could like cut this out because it's so irrelevant. But I forgot my keys to the office.
Oh no.
And thank God I'm like close-ish with True Health Acupuncture, and they let us like use a room. But it was such a disaster. I was pouring sweat. It's like the middle of August.
And hormones.
And a hemorrhage.
Iron.
And like, I was so stressed. And I was like, there's no way I could go back. And Zeppelin scream her head off in the car seat. And like, it was a mess. But it's funny because I like literally blocked that out until this moment, that how much of a mess it was.
And how like not safe for your body.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I think that's just what women do.
It's just what we do. Yeah.
And I think in this kind of work too, like women's health work, I think that anybody that needs help, you're naturally a giver. You know what I mean? Like people in this line of work are naturally nurturing. Like they want to help those that need it.
Yeah.
So like, I understand you're like, she needs help. I need to help her. And if I don't help her, who's going to help her?
Exactly.
And
like,
who's going to like lead her in the right direction?
And I think that there is often a part of us, which you and I both got into birth work before we had babies of our own. Like it was just something that was on my heart, not because I had my own personal experiences. And I'm sure you could speak on this too, but once I did have my own experiences, my first postpartum, it wasn't like terrible, but it wasn't great. And there was a lot that was lacking, and it really affected me. And it kind of surprised me or caught me off guard how much it affected me, that now when I see a mom who's like in that exact same little like vulnerable moment that I've been in myself before, I'm like, exactly what you're saying. Like, her. And who, yeah. And if I don't, who does? And she needs it right now. And if they get the right help at the right time, it can drastically change their experience in motherhood, with their baby, their enjoyment, with their partner, as a family. Like it just has such a like ripple effect. That
there's this old story, and I don't know like the origin of the story. It's like an old folklore of like this old man who sees a starfish in the ocean that is trying to get back to, like, it's on the shore and it needs to get back to the ocean.
Okay.
And so there's a bunch of them, and he starts like coming and like trying to take the starfish from the shore, like back into the ocean to save them. And somebody comes along and it's like, there's too many, you can't save them all. And this is like a story like through my childhood that like, just, I don't know why it's coming up right now, but it did.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I resonate so much with like that story of like, it doesn't matter if I can't like help them all. Like I want to at least help one. Like that's worth it to me if I at least help one person.
Exactly.
To like help them feel supported or empowered or like listened to.
It gives me goosebumps because I feel the same way. Like the goal is never to help everyone.
Right.
To be honest, like that's not my goal. That's not why I did a lactation at 4 weeks postpartum. It's not to help them all, but it's like you said, like if the opportunity presents itself and I could make it work, there is a ripple effect in helping just one person. And I think that you can't underestimate that, the power of the one person that you can reach.
And how much that might mean to them.
Yeah.
Like that they just might need somebody to listen or someone to help.
And then they could go forward and then have a sister who has a baby or have a close friend and then be like, you know what? I know what it feels like to have like good support. And then they show up for her in that way. And then, you know, it creates like this ripple effect in a community around just womanhood, which we desperately need.
Yeah.
But we can't help ourselves but like go way far off. But like, wait a second. Who are you?
Sorry. So my name's Sarah. If you didn't get that part, I totally didn't even think we like went off on tangents.
We can't help it.
Yeah.
But hit us with like, who are you like today?
So I'm a midwife here in Las Vegas. I'm also a mom. What else am I? Who am I?
Isn't it funny when
I'm
you
like
get
learning?
asked?
Yeah,
and you're
I'm
like,
learning part of that too. But yeah, I'm a midwife here in Las Vegas.
And you do metal smithing on the side?
One of my hobbies is silversmithing. I really enjoy like doing anything with my hands. I've always been, I think, like a creative person, and I have to have some kind of project that I'm doing.
Yeah, like the outlet.
Yeah. And maybe that's also my ADHD that I'm like, I have to have a project always. Same. And 12 unfinished projects. But silversmithing is very much like a hobby that I've invested like deeply into.
I think it's important that people like ourselves have things like that too, because we can get so caught up in pouring into everyone else that it's cliche, but like you can't pour from an empty cup. Like you also have something that like pour something into yourself as well, so that you can keep showing up and giving all the time.
The irony with that is like I feel like every piece I make is like a piece of me I get to like give
to somebody else,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, classic.
But I enjoy that part.
But it fills your cup to like make a special piece for somebody and like put the intention behind it. And so tell us, for somebody who is like a midwet, like what is that?
A midwife, a small wife, a large wife,
right? Exactly. What size wife are we talking here?
So midwife is somebody who helps people during their pregnancy, women's health, their birth. A lot of times people assume a midwife is only for pregnancy, but a midwife is actually for all your women's health lifespan, actually. So from teen care to menopausal care.
And if you guys listened back to our fertility files, this is the midwife who was talked about many times, where you were also part of our like conception journey, and we did IUIs together. This is actually, I think, the room where Jordan provided his sample.
That part I was not aware of. What room? Yeah, do they know about the Uncle Daddy part? I don't think that's in.
No, we haven't told that story. Okay, we should definitely share.
So my nickname from Holland, Holland's your 6-year-old.
Yeah.
So I don't remember exactly
No,
how
no.
it came to be.
No.
Well, you
It was
called
me who gave it to you. So it was when we were doing the IUI.
Yeah.
And I'm laying in my bedroom with my legs up on pillow. I think we were using a suitcase to put my foot on. Yeah.
Yep.
Very clinical, guys.
Very
very
homey.
Yeah. And I think we had Jordan like looking. So I'm literally laying there like this, and you and Jordan are sitting there like this, like looking inside me, like trying to figure out how to get everything in there.
And I like to include partners like in IUIs.
Yeah.
So like I had him right next to me so he could like be the one to
oh yeah, that's right. You had him pushing the
plunger to insert to get you pregnant.
Yes, exactly. Which is cool. Yeah, that it's not, they don't do that at the IVF clinic. No. But I think I made a comment. I was like, well, let me tell you, Sarah, if this baby sticks, like you're officially Uncle Daddy.
Yeah.
And we thought it was funny. Hilarious. And we all laughed. Yeah.
But then how did Holland call me that?
I think that I like had maybe said it, and then she was like,
just stuck.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. And then had to like call you that.
That's so
I think
funny.
she like made you like
so
a
she
card
called me
something.
Uncle Sarah for a while.
Oh, that's right.
But then that she never called me. That's right. So she called me Uncle Sarah.
Yeah, she did.
First. And then you said, if this works, we'll be Uncle Daddy.
Yeah.
And then when you guys got pregnant, the way that you told me that you got pregnant, which I was an ugly, crying, hysterical, sobbing mess.
We have the video proof.
You had me for Secret Santa.
Yeah, I just happened to get you
multiple, like you're like, open this first, you know, like in order, remember?
Okay.
Also the wrapping paper was Santa with
his penis. Yeah. Holland literally just said that. I was like going through our wrapping paper to give to my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And she was looking at it and she's like, remember that one time when you got that Christmas paper and like Santa didn't have pants on?
What did she call the cup that I got you?
Oh, socks, rainbow socks.
Right. Just Santa socks.
Yeah, just Santa socks.
Sorry, tangent.
Dang, I'm clever.
I love it. It's really clever.
I forgot that I did like all the multiple.
The open first, yeah. And it's like all these cute things. And one of the things that was a t-shirt with Old English, because I love Old English font, that said Uncle Daddy, and then your pregnancy test.
Yeah, it was like in it.
Yeah. Well, first of that box was like this beautifully written card, a poem about a midwife that I was like crying, and I didn't know what was behind it. Right. That after that was you telling me that you were pregnant with Zep. But yeah. I still like. Yeah.
And then you wore the shirt to our birth.
Yep, and I wore it to Zeppelin's birthday.
And to her birthday.
And I plan to wear it to her birthday every year. My Uncle Daddy shirt.
Yeah, that's Uncle Daddy.
The best part of the Uncle Daddy shirt at your birth is when we had to transfer to the hospital.
Oh my gosh, I know.
And here I am like this professional wearing an Uncle Daddy shirt.
In Old English.
Old English.
Yeah.
They're probably like, who the fuck?
Well, I remember the first, like the female provider, I think, asked like who you were, and you're like, oh, I'm her sister, or something like that. Where like it's literally not worth the time.
It's
like,
not worth
explaining it to you. Yeah,
I'm just her sister.
Yeah, that's
made
so
it easier.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's kind of unpack, and we can kind of have fun with it. Some like common myths or like questions or concerns around having a community or an out of hospital birth. Because
I love this one.
Midwives work in birth centers as well, right? They can also work in hospitals. They can also do home birth. You specifically do home birth and birth center, right? So let's see. What's like a common I think a big one that I can think of is that you guys are just like woo woo and that you're gonna come and like light incense and like bang on a drum and like
blow it in your face
and like sing a chant or something and
just tell you you're doing a great job.
And let me tell you, I have attended many births with you before, and it is, you got to be in shape to carry the amount of equipment.
65 pounds of equipment.
Is that what it is? Yeah. And sometimes you're going up like 3 flights of apartment stairs and like, yeah, it's crazy. But you guys bring so much equipment with you. So what does it look like? Like just kind of briefly thinking, you know, not everybody cares so much about all the medical detail, but like kind of the scope, I guess, of what a midwife is.
So there's different types of midwives. So I'm a CPM, which is a certified professional midwife. And it varies. Every state is a little bit different, but I can practice in a home birth setting here, and I can practice in a birth center setting here under supervision. I don't have credentials to practice like in a hospital, and I also don't desire
Wouldn't
that.
choose
Like
that.
little girl me that thought I would be a labor and delivery nurse.
Yep.
Like me now laughs at little girl me. I'd be fired on the
Same.
first fucking day.
Oh, Sarah, I went to nursing school and I was like, I'm going to work in labor and delivery.
Yeah.
And then thank God I met Jordan Spinath and married him because I didn't have to like get a full-time job.
He's like, swoop.
Yep. But I was like, babe, they would have fired me immediately. Like I would have not made it.
Same.
Or I would have quit first day.
Same.
But
Either
I'm
would
not
have
sure
been
which-
fired or quit.
Yeah.
I don't know which would have been better.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, exactly.
But not for me.
Yeah.
I don't like, I think, midwifery in general, at least modern midwifery, I should say. Modern midwifery is kind of, the foundation of it is kind of like without handcuffs in the system, without all these rules that are the same, arbitrary. We do it this way for every single person.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what modern midwifery stands for, is like, I'm going to give you personalized care because this is what's evidence-based, not because this is what's convenient.
Yeah.
Because a lot of modern birth is based on convenience, and the interventions that come from some of those convenience, like
practices.
Thank you. So modern midwifery is very much like a revival, like a fuck the system. We're going to do it the not just the traditional way, but like the way it's intended.
Yeah, the way
without
it's
interruption.
meant to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, the way that we're designed for, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the term like modern midwifery, like as I'm saying that, like it sounds silly to say because midwifery care is the norm for our entire history.
Yeah.
Like the way that midwives now that people see as like, oh, that's crazy, or that's like unique, or that's brave. Like this is just how it is meant to be.
Exactly.
Like the way that I practice and the way that I see women birth is the way it's intended to be.
Yep.
And has been for millennia. And like, yes, there's amazing parts of it, like modern medicine and the advancements that we've had.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away from like physiology though.
Well, and I feel like my birth story is like a perfect example of that. Like I had an absolutely wonderful labor. I had a fantastic birth, and then I had complications postpartum, and I needed medical care.
Right.
And I went to a hospital and I received it, and everything.
And thankfully we have that.
Yeah. And I had a good outcome. Exactly. Like in no way are we ever anti those things, but it's so overprescribed, and it's also programmed into women where we don't think that there's any other option or it could possibly look any other way. And it's really sad because like you're saying, like, but like modern midwifery, like
it's not a luxury.
No, that's just
like,
a standard. That should be standard.
Yeah.
Like, and then we could build from there, but it just doesn't work that way. Even me as a little girl, like I was programmed to be very scared of birth. I remember like crying to my mom as a little girl because I was like, I want to be a mom, but I'm so scared. Like, it's such a Morgan thing to do where I'm like 14 and I'm terrified. I'm already like thinking about those things, but I was like, it just looks so painful and scary. And, it's sad because it's just everywhere. You rarely see birth in a way that actually, portrays the natural design of a birth. And something that you've actually said before that has always stuck out in my head is that, like, I don't know, you correct me how you feel, but probably like 99% of the medical professionals that work in hospital systems have never seen a like unmedicated, non-supine,
not just unmedicated, without some kind of
intervention,
even if it's like exactly like so supine is the position that, like, for those of you that don't know what that is, like someone like laying on their back, right?
Yeah.
There's lithotomy, which is like laying on their back with their legs in stirrups, but like the like stereotypical, like what you see in movies and culture, and honestly in real life, not just in movies and culture, like, and social culture. It's also like what most medical professionals see. If it's an EMT who's doing their rotation and learning about birth, that's what they see. Or they see, cesarean. So like, even if it is an unmedicated birth, it is so rare to see a woman birthing
like on her hands and knees or on a stool or in a birth tub or like her body actually choosing the positions
without someone's hands, like stretching her perineum or
all the bright
telling
lights
her how
on.
to breathe, or a baby being taken and rubbed.
Like there's intervention on every single level. But what's amazing is that if you don't touch it, it usually works itself out just fine.
Better.
Yeah. Or
fine, better.
I like that. Or better. And I mean, we're testaments because we've seen it time and time before. We're not just like pulling this out of our butts.
Yeah. I have seen it beautifully just beautiful births unfold without anyone doing anything. Like just letting mom be an animal and primal and letting her body lead the way.
Yeah, I was saying it in our birth story. I was like, I remember when my body was just naturally like pushing in the tub, and you and the birth assistant were like sitting across from me on the couch, and then like her head popped out. I was like, her head, and I like looked up and you guys were just like sitting there charting, and I was like, cool, all right, we got this. You know what I mean? Like nobody's like jumping up and being like, oh god, get the glove on. You know, it's nobody's freaked out. It's just like, yeah, that's what's supposed
normal.
to happen.
Yeah. That's what we expected it to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah.
Like you did everything as your body needed to do.
And it feels really great as the person that is giving birth to be like, you're looking for feedback almost in those moments. And when everybody's just so calm and still just kind of sitting watching, you're like, oh,
this is safe.
Yeah, it's safe. And like, I don't need you. Like, we're good. Like, I got this. All I need is myself. And I'm surrendered in this experience. And like, me and my baby are good. We don't really need any extra help right now.
Most birth is like, if you let it unfold uninterrupted, most of the time you don't need somebody there to do anything.
Yep.
Like you hire a professional in the case that you do have a complication at any point, right? That like they can help you navigate that you're not having to assess like, is this normal or not?
Yeah.
You know, like that's why you hire somebody. So back to the equipment. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like totally, we got on a tangent. Like, and not every midwife brings the same things. Like everyone has a different scope of what they feel comfortable bringing or using, and you should never have anything in your home birth kit that you're not comfortable using. I feel really strongly about that. Like if you have equipment that maybe it's been recommended or maybe you've seen somebody use it and it sounds really helpful, but you're not comfortable using it, you're not going to use it in an emergency, and you're also not going to use it probably effectively or appropriately in an emergency. But in a home birth kit, typically you have something to listen to the baby, so that's called a Doppler. Most midwives have a waterproof Doppler so that you can listen to mom in whatever position or place she's in, whether it's the shower, land, in the tub, whatever it is. Hands and knees. I don't need a mom to turn over on her back flat to listen to her baby. And a Doppler tells a huge story for baby's experience. Like listening to baby's heartbeat tells the person listening, whoever's trained, the trained professional, I should say. What's happening with the baby's experience with their labor. So different fluctuations tell you different things, if they need help or if they're in distress or if, you know, they're at the stage where you're pushing, but maybe mom's not as aware of it yet. Like it helps you understand a lot about what they're experiencing, or what they're experiencing is they're tolerating well. So it gives you a whole story. Things to monitor mom's vitals. So blood pressure, you know, thermometer, things like that. Stethoscope to listen to either mom's heart or lungs and baby's heart and lungs. Things to monitor like baby's oxygenation after birth, oxygen equipment in case they need any kind of oxygen.
You bring a whole oxygen tank, right?
Whole oxygen tank, a bag, a mask. There's actually a whole resuscitation like setup that comes with it. And then some midwives, and this depends on your state, but some midwives also carry medication in case there's a bleeding concern postpartum. So like in your case, like you needed medication because you were having bleeding outside of normal. So that medication helps to slow down the bleeding to then get us to the next facility. In your case, it's a hospital.
Or in some cases, manage it at home and not need to go outside of the home at all, which I think that probably answers another like commonly asked question, right? Of like, what about emergencies and what if like things go wrong and whatever, that, you know, it's not like you brought a little purse with just your incense, like you have the medical equipment.
Just my cigarette for an emergency arises.
Just a cig,
light it up.
So that at least I feel chill.
I'm good. Watch it unfold. No, honestly, most of the stuff is used in like it's only there in case it needs to be used for an emergency. So like when I get there for a birth, I set everything out so it's already like ready, available. I know exactly where everything is. My birth bag, I always joke, like,
I love your birth bag.
I am anyone that knows me knows I am not type A. Like I am a very like spontaneous, like go with the flow, fly by the seat of my pants, like creative, like mind person. Like if you saw my brain, it would have like a gajillion tabs
open all the time.
My computer does. That's my brain. But my birth bag is like so type A, organized, like my tism.
I
like
love
everything is lined up. Like the zippers are all in a specific, like all the zippers on everything in my birth bag meet in the middle so that it's not like finding which end. Like
that is so great.
Very, very like
Well, and as somebody who has attended births as your assistant, I friggin' love your birth bags, because then I would attend with other midwives and it'd be like, oh, grab the whatever. And I'm like,
You're like,
okay.
where is it?
And I'm literally just digging through everything. And I'm like, I literally can't find it.
And then it's me and I'm like, hey, grab the orange bag that's on the left side of this pocket. And like, it's exactly where.
Well, and I only had to attend a couple of births with you to know your whole system in your bag.
Sure.
And then I'm like instantly like, oh yeah, that's in that bag and this is in that bag. And you know, yeah, it's awesome. It's the way to be, in my opinion. But I also have TISM and ADHD. So I don't know. That's my brain.
I feel like you need that though. Like, especially when it comes to like, I'm caring for two people's lives. You know what I mean? Like I need to know that I have things, how I have them set is like uniform. So I know like each time it's in the same place and it's functioning. Like I check every piece of equipment beforehand. And then like, you know, that it's functioning. I know where it is and I can tell somebody else where it is. Like sometimes there's a birth happens really quickly and I don't have stuff unpacked. Like sometimes there's a birth that I'm literally like running into the house because it's the mom's third, fourth baby and it's happening so quick. Like I'm on speakerphone on the way there and I don't have time to unpack and like lay all my stuff out how I want it. And I might need somebody to be like, you know, kind of my so-called assistant. Like that happens sometimes. Like I might
totally
say,
does.
you know, I need, and that's if it's an emergency, I should say.
Yeah.
Like a normal birth, if it's happening quickly, everything's, you know,
smooth and that baby's just ready to be born. That
baby does not need any help from anybody. Outside of their mom.
They know what they're doing.
They're smarter than we give them credit for.
I say that so much. It's crazy.
But most of the time, a home birth does not need anything. So all that stuff is there for an emergency, and it usually gets unfolded and packed back up.
So what about anybody who has like risk factors?
So there are certain risk factors that would be things that would like preclude somebody from birthing in a community setting because it's not safe, whether it's not safe for the mom or not safe for the baby. So like a couple things that could be, it's like if someone has preeclampsia, so that's a condition that could be first dangerous for the mom and then secondary dangerous for the baby because mom could have a seizure from that. Mom could have with that like high blood pressure, which can cause concerns on the placenta and aging of the placenta, which can affect baby because that's baby's lifeline. So that's just an example of a condition that would be a risk factor that wouldn't be safe to be out of the hospital.
And I think it's important to like speak on those things because midwifery care is also not reckless.
That is honestly, I think one of the most like perfect ways to articulate midwifery care. Midwifery care is for somebody who's low risk, who is informed. And honestly, I think that like most of society would not understand this, but people who are choosing an unmedicated birth, not even unmedicated birth, excuse me, people who are choosing a community birth are some of the most informed people that are out there. Like these are people that have like done their research, that like are coming to me with sometimes like studies and like research backed, you know, questions that like these are people that have really done the work to explore their options and understand them.
Making very intentional decisions.
Super intentional.
Typically in their preconception care, like in their pregnancy, like all the way through, all the choices for baby. Like I completely agree. Most
it's not
people
somebody who's just like, this sounds pretty because like, Pinterest showed or Instagram showed a nice birth. Like that's definitely not the norm for midwifery care. A lot of times people choose midwifery care because they've had something polarizing, like some kind of contrast of their birth or their experience in women's health. And that's actually one of the things that led me to midwifery care, to tie in like our first question of how I got here.
Someday we'll answer the first one.
I was experiencing, so I had a pregnancy that I chose not to continue with. I was in a new relationship. This is many, many years ago. I was in a new relationship and it just didn't feel like the right time in my life. And I never expected that I would make that kind of decision. I knew I wanted to be a mom since I was a little girl. So like, I never thought that I would not follow through with a pregnancy. But it just wasn't the right time in my life. And especially now, like being a mom and being able to be like the type of mom that I have always dreamed of being and like intentional and like every part of my son's life. Like that was the right decision. You know, like he was not the right partner and it just wasn't the right time in my life. But I didn't know I was pregnant and I'd gone to the OBGYN who I'd been seeing since like, I think I was like 15, like the same practice, but it was a big group practice in Las Vegas that like had multiple different providers. So I was seeing a provider who could get me in quickly that I'd never seen before. And the
male or female?
Female.
Okay.
Of course. Female. And the straight like the blank look of like judgment on this woman's face, like I still see her like piercing eyes of like judgment all these years later. So she made me feel like very judged, very shamed. No questions were answered, just completely like no help whatsoever. And in fact, I felt worse going in than when or worse leaving, than when I came in.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving that office, and I was already a doula. I was doing doula work. So I'd started doing doula work. I remember leaving that office and being like, this is not how women's health should feel.
Yeah.
And it was a total fire under my ass kind of thing. And that's my personality. I'm someone that like, ironically, needs the push. And the fire under my ass. Yeah. Just thinking ironically of like the season of life I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I work best like with that kind of like pressure.
The pressure.
Yeah.
That's literally exactly what I told Jordan yesterday, because
getting in your house.
Well, like we were going to do it on Sunday, and then I was like, let's just do it tomorrow. And he's like, what? And I was like, honestly, I work best under pressure. Yeah. Like, and you just make it happen.
And you got it done.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's like, definitely like that's a woman's thing. It's definitely a mom thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's also like an ADHD.
I feel like you have like something to prove, where like, I don't know, she made you feel some type of way and you're like, actually, fuck you, lady. Like,
I'm going to do it better than
I'm going to do this better. Yeah.
And so I was teaching and then I left teaching temporarily because I was going to go back to school and started bartending. Somebody I used to teach with, an old colleague of mine, she had a home birth here in Vegas with another midwife that was like a pretty popular midwife, and she connected me with her. Cool. And I had met her like kind of briefly, like on like Facebook and stuff, like not in person yet, but like we had, so she connected me with her, and she had an opening to be a student to apprentice with her. And that's how we got connected.
How cool.
And the timing was like very good timing, because I had this like huge fire under my ass of like, I'm going to do it better than this woman. Like, you should not be holding women's hands through their life cycles of different things, whether it's teenage, teen care or menopausal care or maternity care. Like, this is not how it should be. And so that's what kind of like pushed me. So something else that I wanted to like go back to though, is that earlier you and I were talking about like my mom's introduction and her friend Esther that like got me my first exposure, I guess, to birth. Yeah. Right. Made it very normal. Like, I heard my birth story, my mom's birth story with me so many times growing up as a kid. And I'm the youngest of three. I had heard my older two sisters' births. And they're all very, very different. Yeah. My mom had a really, really, really empowering birth with me. And so I grew up hearing a lot of empowering stories. Yeah. I never heard birth as like a scary tale ever for myself.
Do you think it's possible that like there's something almost intrinsically in your spirit and energy because of the way that you were born, that you feel that in some way, like in your being?
That's really beautiful. And maybe I've never thought of it until you said that.
Subconsciously.
That's actually so cool to think of.
Because I'm a VBAC baby.
Me too.
Yeah.
So I'm a VBAC baby too.
Yeah.
And I never thought of like that, but I, with every part of my being, believe that babies' experiences during birth shapes so much of their personality and who they are.
Can you speak on that a little bit? Because I completely agree. And I think I touched on it a little bit in our like birth story episode, but you say things better than I do sometimes. And share your perspective of that.
So the first time I like heard science about this was I was taking a resuscitation.
Is it Karen Strange?
Yes, Karen Strange. So she is, you and I know her, but for those that don't know her, so Karen Strange is like the resuscitation person. Queen. Yeah. So she teaches providers all over the country. She might even go outside of the US, I think. Probably. For sure, all over the country, and has for many, many years. She's in her 60s, I think. Sorry, Karen, if you're in your 50s.
She could be older.
Shit.
I feel like she could be older.
Cut out her age.
Yeah, we'll just take it out. That'd be cool if she's listening. I doubt it. Right? But yeah, we'll cut out
just in case. You look really good, Karen.
Yeah, she does look great.
She does look good.
She does, yeah.
Karen. And she can move. Like, her body is flexible.
Yeah, she'll be sitting on the floor and like doing. Yeah.
So she travels all over and teaches all kinds of professionals, not just midwives. Like, there was one time I had a flight nurse. That traveled from somewhere else to like take her class in Vegas. Yeah. So
I would have never even thought.
And he is actually really cool. He was like a resuscitation flight nurse who had never taken her course, had been doing it for like 20 years.
I bet he learned a lot.
He did. Yeah. He was my partner and he loved it.
Oh, cool.
But so her course, she shares that babies have this experience and their, not just in their labor and their birth, but also in their pregnancy. And their experience with their pregnancy and their birth, or their labor and their birth, excuse me, shapes a lot of their personality, and there's science behind this. So there's a DVD that she has called, I think it's called What Babies Know, or Babies Know. And this is one of the like most important things that I feel like I can bring to a birth is my energy. Even if a baby needs help and needs a resuscitation or needs a little bit of stimulation, I can do everything gently.
Yes.
And birth, unfortunately, is not always unicorns and rainbows and Instagram worthy stories or pictures. Like sometimes there's heavy things, and that's also part of women's health and being a midwife is sitting with women through some of the hardest moments or seasons of their life that they never anticipated experiencing. And I've had babies born with me that we, planned ahead of time, that somebody planned the home birth because they knew that the baby was not compatible with life. I've had that and helped arrange, like a peaceful birth for them. But even a baby that's expected not to survive, like still deserves a peaceful entry to the
dignity of of birth and crossing the veil.
And it very much is like this crossing of a veil, right? Like we're always so close to that crossing of a veil with birth. Outside of, I've had births, like I said, where we knew ahead of time that this baby was not going to be with us for long. But also sometimes things change in birth, and that's not to be feared. Like we're animals. This is unfortunately, this is the ugly side of life. But even if a baby needs like something done, right, to help them, it still can be done with tenderness, gentleness, and love. So one of the things that I am very, very intentional about if I'm ever doing a resuscitation on a baby is it's not something I say out loud, but internally I tell them like, I'm here with you and I'm trying to help you. And then once they are safe and stable, I make sure to say kind of out loud, like, you did a good job to the baby. Like that was hard work for you. And I understand.
I love it so
And I think
much.
it's really important that they are handled like a human.
Yes.
They're not just a baby. Like they're not just a doll. Like they're another human living an experience, and there's science that experience, matters. So like the book, The Body Keeps the Score. So if you're not familiar with that book, it's an incredible book about like trauma is, I guess, like the blanket way to describe it. But it's about trauma, sexual trauma, different kinds of trauma, and how your body physically carries a memory. And so the same kind of like concept you can adapt to a baby's birth. The way that they're brought into this world absolutely matters. From the first touch they experience, to the first words that they experience, to the environment around them, to even just the energy that they feel.
What do you think would happen to us as a society as a whole if, obviously not all babies, can have this, but if most babies could be born in an environment where the first touch was from their parents, where the first words they heard were like, welcome, I love you, I'm so happy
you did a good
to
job.
meet you, happy birthday, in nice mood lighting with a gentle song playing, and there was just time and patience to let them like adjust and come to, what type of an effect do you think that would have on us?
Utopia.
Like
literally, like that's the word that like makes me emotional.
I literally just gave me like goosebumps. Like, wow. Ooh, like, I just got goosebumps a second time. Utopia. Could you imagine?
So my son was not born the way that we like planned, right? Like, my birth story, I had a cesarean, and as a home birth midwife, like, shocker.
Yep.
We call it like, there's like the nurse curse is like one term. Like
it's because I do placenta encapsulation and then had a retained placenta that tried to kill me. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just the nature of
like
this
a monster.
Work. Yes,
its own character. So I had to fight tooth and fucking nail. And as somebody who is like has a reputation in this community and even a reputation at one of the hospitals like I tried to go to, I had to fight tooth and nail to make sure that my son's cesarean was respectful and supported the way that I felt was appropriate and
needed.
Vital to him having a safe of course, is always most important, but a gentle and like welcoming entrance to this world.
Yep.
And it should not be that way. Like nobody should have to fight. And I know the things really to fight for. Yeah. The fact that like so many people don't know the things to fight for and would have just succumbed to the pressure of somebody not understanding what I was trying to ask for.
Right.
And my son had an absolutely beautiful cesarean that every single cesarean should look like.
We're closing this series with a brand that I genuinely love and personally use, Birthright. From the conception of our species, women have been nourished by wild foods, medicinal plants, and the entire animal nose to tail. And that's exactly what Birthright brings back to life. These supplements are made from real food ingredients like grass-fed liver, bone marrow, and fish eggs, paired with powerful herbs that support every stage of womanhood. I'm currently taking Revive to prepare my body for conception after going through infertility and IVF. Truly never felt so aligned with a supplement. It's not synthetic or filler-packed, it's ancestral nutrition in a capsule form. Whether you're rebuilding your health before pregnancy or searching for a prenatal you can trust, Birthright offers a collection of whole food blends designed to honor your hormones, fertility, and vitality, the way that nature intended it. Reclaim your health through nourishment that's wild, wise, and time-tested. Use code LONEWOLF for 15% off at birthright.co. That's LONE, WOLFE, for 15% off your first order at Birthright Supplements. Because optimal health, fertility, and wholeness is your birthright. I feel like you don't have to, and I feel like I'm speaking to like families, but also providers. Like, you don't have to give birth at home in a birth tub to have respect and gentleness and dignity.
Like, sometimes it's easy, I think, as a provider who does this regularly, like this is the norm, this is something like we're used to and accustomed to remember like this is a singular experience, and it's not just a moment, it's a singular experience. Like whether you consider the whole pregnancy as an experience or the birth, like this is an experience that literally shapes somebody's life. So there's studies that show that your birth is one of the last, like studies with dementia and Alzheimer's, one of the last memories to leave your memory.
Yeah.
Because it hits so many different parts of your brain. You're accessing so many different parts that it stays.
Yeah, like permanently in your head.
And like, so as a provider, like it might seem not as special to some providers. I don't feel that way. I still cry at births.
Right.
But and like without filtering it, like happily will feel what I'm feeling. But it's, I think, easy for some providers to not remember like this is a singular experience and I need to treat it as such, not the same thing, like the same as everybody else. And
you know, what makes me sad kind of thinking about this is that I imagine there are a lot of hospital providers who've gotten to that point because they experience and witness so many things that, while it may be normal to what they learned in school and what they learned, you know, in their trainings and what they see at work every day, but there's some part of them inside their human body that feels that this isn't quite right. And they experience pushback on these internal feelings of what's normal and natural and right in the birth of human beings, that you have to become numb to it and suppress it and turn it off. Like, so that you can't feel the good. Like you have to block out the bad so much that you can't even feel like the good anymore either. And you just kind of get numb to it all.
It gets washed. It's all one.
Yeah.
And I think as a provider, like sometimes you do have to compartmentalize like what you feel and what somebody else is feeling.
Right.
It's not your
thing to carry.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, I think there's different like levels of like there's a spectrum probably of like how much or how little, and like based on like what kind of medical care you provide. But like, I totally agree. I think providers often get jaded for certain things. Like so the doctor that helped with my cesarean literally walked out with me to a different hospital.
Yeah.
Like he was like, we can continue this, like what you're doing, you know, like what they're wanting you to do here, and you might have a beautiful birth, or we can go somewhere else where they're going to support exactly what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah. And like, I guarantee that doesn't happen often.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think it's more convenient to be like, well, let's just get it done.
Yeah.
Move on. And it's the same thing with like birth and with death. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
Well, it's just another person, like, you know, and I think that people forget like that this little tiny person has an experience, but also this big person that's carrying them physically will carry that experience. And I think if we could,
and dads too, I mean, the whole family unit, like dads sometimes are witness to all of this. And most men feel
on like the back burner.
But they feel this like primal intrinsic feeling to protect their wife and their baby in their most vulnerable, place. And often they're pushed to the side and they just have to sit there and watch.
And they don't even know that there's other things to like explore. One of my favorite, actually, somebody recently, she's got a pretty big Instagram page, and I just messaged with her recently. She posted a picture of the Doppler monitor and the contraction monitor. Like she was doing some extra monitoring because of her age. Okay. So like no true risk factors like present, but just to be safe for her age.
Yeah.
And she was really frustrated. And so her and I messaged a little bit, and I shared one of my favorite acronyms is the BRAIN acronym. So the BRA acronym is something every medical professional knows of. You learn it in school. It stands for the benefits, the risks, and the alternatives. And the BRAIN acronym is kind of like a more modern adaptation. So you add on benefits, risks, alternatives, my intuition, and nothing, because nothing is also an alternative.
Like what if I do nothing?
Right.
Yeah.
Like what happens if I choose not to choose A or B?
Right.
And that's one of the things, like with my classes, like I really teach to partners, like mom in that space may not feel like she can speak up, but partners or doulas, like that's one of the things you can do is say like, hold on a second, let's pause and let's walk through this BRAIN so that I'm not feeling just like along for the ride.
Yeah.
Like I'm the driver.
Yes,
here.
Absolutely. When you think of what birth looks like, what's the image that like comes to mind? So paint the picture for us.
Wait, for what I think of, or what society thinks of?
What you think. Because what's funny is I work in birth work. I've had a home birth myself. I completely align with all of it. And for some reason, I think it's the little girl in me. When I try to think of an image of birth, I see a hospital gown is the first thing I see.
Okay.
I see a hospital bed. I see bright lights, and I see a very white, sterile environment. Which is funny because that's not like who I am, but it's like literally in my like frontal lobe. And I swear it's just like little Morgan who was just like programmed as a little girl. Like that's what birth looks like to me. But I'm curious, when you think, what does birth look like?
I have two.
What do you see?
So I think I have like, like those memes of like what society thinks I do and what I really do.
Yes.
Like I think I have that naturally. So like I think because I heard my birth story so much growing up, I picture my mom's birth story. And this is
what does it look like to you though?
It looks like, do you remember the movie Now and Then?
No, I'm so bad at movies. I love that movie. I'm probably the worst person to ask.
It's like a coming of age movie that like, it's so cute. You should watch it at some point. So in the movie and Now and Then, I forget what her name is all of a sudden, but she's got like this like curly hair. My mom has really curly hair. My mom, younger mom, looks just like Cher.
Okay.
Like people all the time are like, your mom looks like Cher. So I picture like a mix of Cher, which by the way, I'm obsessed with. Cher. I don't know if you know that about me.
It's weird because now that you're saying that, I'm like, you kind of look like Cher actually right now.
It's the high cheekbones.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and like the hair.
So I like picture like a mix of Cher and a mix of in the movie Now and Then.
Okay.
When she's birthing.
With the curly hair.
Super curly hair. And all her friends are like with her. And she's like in the hospital gown. Like her husband's not there. And she's like, like
heavy breathing. Yeah.
So I picture like a little bit of that because I think that's like.
But does it feel like strong and like primal to you, or does it feel a little
very
like
strong and primal?
Okay.
But it's like I picture like visually, I picture that movie scene because that's I think that probably honestly was the first visual representation I had of birth. Because the only thing I had my whole life was my mom's story. But I picture my mom like very empowering, like birthing me unmedicated as a VBAC.
Yeah.
Like that image. And then the other image that I picture, like to kind of mix with that, is in that movie Knocked Up.
Okay.
With, I don't remember her name, Catherine, whatever her name is, Catherine Heigl. Like super dramatic, people yelling, like what people stereotypically imagine.
Chaos.
Is what I think people like imagine when I say that I work in birth work, right? Yeah. And then when I like think of like what I know of birth work, I think of birth as like very soothing. It's funny to me, like soothing is probably not the like way that most people would describe what they picture when they picture birth. But to me, the sounds of birth are soothing. So
I can feel it all right now. Like I feel the warm and fuzzies of like attending births and just the like the energy. It's almost like the like air feels like warm. Does that make sense? Like, there's just this like
something that describes soothing.
Yeah, this like bubble of energy, and you're just so in it, and you feel so like
safe,
encompassed by like just safety.
You described so I guess because you already like you're gonna launch the episode of your birth, like you described that when I came into your birth space, I don't like when I come into a birth space and I'm like, hi, I'm here. Like I don't do that. Right. I come in as quietly as possible. I don't interfere or interrupt the mom at all. And then usually what I'll do is I like will put my hand somewhere like to let them know like there's a hand here. They don't have to know who it is. And you've described it before that like you knew it was my hand. And that you felt like some different feelings about it. I don't want to like call what they are. Like call them, but like that kind of like energy is exactly what I picture when I picture birth. I picture like soothing, calm, welcoming, togetherness, community.
For some reason, what you just said really did something to me because I remember the moment. We're probably both gonna cry because unfortunately, you and I are both members, you know, of the Dead Dad Club, and it's like a club. I really wish we weren't. I know it's a club I really wish we didn't share together. Like there are so many other cool clubs we could be a part of.
Like I'd take knitting up any day.
I would literally like clean toilets, like you know, instead. But just thinking about, I remember the moment being in the middle of a contraction. The lights are all dim. I'm on my hands and knees in the birth tub, and I'm looking down. I can't see anything. But there was a moment in my birth where I was like, Sarah needs to be here. I just knew that I needed you there. And then I don't know what happened in between because I was in labor land. And then there was a moment where you put your hand on my shoulder, and I had seen you do it to many other people before. But then I felt it, and I didn't have to look at you. I just instantly knew. It was something just like familiar and comforting. Like there's some power in touch. And for some reason, it took me right back to this moment when my dad had just passed away and I was in nursing school and I went to bed. It was the night before my very first clinical shift. And I just felt like I couldn't do it. Like I felt like I lost the one person that I needed to be my like rock. I didn't think I was going to make it through. I had no idea what my life was going to look like. So I was like a single mom trying to figure it out. I went to sleep that night, and in my dream, and it's the only time I've had this happen, and he's been gone for 4+ years now, 5 years now. He came to me in my dream, and he put his hand on me, and his arm wrapped around me, and it was his skin. It was his arm hair. It was the way his hands look. Like it couldn't have been any more real that it was my dad. And the instant moment of like, oh, like it's literally like an exhale. And that's like the exact same feeling that I had in that birth space. And it just makes me think of that, like it's that veil, that connection between both worlds, this life and death. And you can't tell me that there is not something very, very important that demands our attention when it comes to giving birth and being in that, in between those worlds. Like it deserves our attention and our care, and it is so time that we start giving it what it deserves.
That was like, as your friend, you and I have never talked about that like correlation before.
It just came to me in this moment.
Like, as your midwife, like we've also never, so I guess it was like both hats that I wear, and like as the front hand, like that was so meaningful to know that something like that brought you there.
No, it really, really did. And I will say that if you are on the fence at all, or you have never even heard of a midwife before coming into this episode, like at least go interview one if it's on your mind or on your heart, and consider it, because it is an experience that I wish every single woman could at least know is an option, at least have it on the table for your birth and for your family. And then I also just have to say that like I am so lucky that you are the midwife that came into my life. Like, and I don't just say this because we are close friends, but truly the type of midwife that you are, the type of care and attention and love and light and energy that you bring into a birth space is so impactful. And I don't think you understand the touch and effect that you have had and will continue to have on families. Fuck, we need more of you out there, Sarah. We need more of you.
I love you. And it's an honor as not just your friend, but as your midwife, to be a part of your birth space that way. And like, and also like we talked about it earlier, like to also introduce that kind of energy to your daughters.
Yeah.
You know, to like further, you know, as our generation ages and, you know, ages out of birth work and ages out of that season of our life, like that their generation also is going to look for these things for their health.
Yeah.
Like that's how it should be.
I agree.
Even if your daughters never choose to have children.
Exactly.
Like they don't even have to choose to have children, but to choose to like think outside of the box and like straight from the pack.
Straight from the pack.
You know what I mean? To demand like, this is what I deserve.
Yep. It's way more than just birth. I think it's
spiritual.
Yep. It's spiritual.
It's honestly, it's transcendent too. Like, I think when you are experiencing whatever type of birth you're experiencing, you're crossing over a threshold of the you before, and you're shedding a layer to the you that you're going to
that you're becoming
into and becoming. And it is deeply, deeply spiritual.
I completely agree. Sarah, thank you so much for coming on to Lone Wolf Podcast.
I love you guys.
I love you. If you're in Vegas, hit her up.
Catch my number.
Yeah. If you feel at home here, leaving a 5-star review helps other families find their way too.
Come hang out with us on socials at Lone Wolf Podcast, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's next.
Remember, sometimes you have to stray from the pack to discover where you truly belong. Until next time, loners.